This is Brett with Growers, and in this video, we're going to answer the question, what is a shapefile? So you're starting to get some data from farmers about their boundaries, their harvest yields, their planting, maybe their soil sampling, and a lot of the data that they're giving you might come in shapefiles. So shapefile is a common file structure used to share information about what happens in space on a map or some other spatial representation. And a shapefile actually can contain three different types of information. The first one would be points. So it's telling you about things that are happening at specific points in space or on a map. The second one would be what they call polylines, but it's really just lines. And here, the lines are representing a river. It could represent something like a road. The third thing that a shapefile can represent are polygons. And here in this example, it's representing a lake. So if we're thinking about farmers and their data, boundaries would be polygons, and harvest and planting information would come in points. And soil sampling can come in either polygons or points. We don't really deal with lines all that much in agriculture data. So these are the different forms that shapefiles can come in. They don't mix. A shapefile is either points, either polygons, or either polylines. So they don't mix. What's unique about a shapefile is actually a shapefile is a general term for a collection of different files. So there are three mandatory files that a shapefile must have in order to be viable. The first one is a .shp file. The second is .shx file. And the third one is .dbf file. So these three files must be present for a shapefile in its general term to be viable. And of course, there are other files that can be attached to it. The most prevalent one that we see attached to it is a .prj file. This tells different GIS software, whenever it's going to look at a shapefile, how it should be projected or how what kind of where the software should be looking from whenever it wants to visualize the shapefile. So a lot of softwares are going to export shapefiles with these three plus a projection file, a PRJ file. But depending on the type of software, it might attach some other files along with it. So a shapefile can come in the form of 3 to 16 different files. So here on the right, we see a folder, GFF bounds, that contains 8 different files inside of it. And all of these files together are considered a shapefile. Now, we see right here that this individual file is also a shapefile, but it doesn't contain all of the information. So we are looking for all of these to be collectively known as a shapefile. So whenever you're sharing or someone is sharing a shapefile with you, a mistake would be to send them only this SHP file, right? That wouldn't allow a GIS software to understand what it has inside of it because it's getting incomplete information. At the very least, it has to have the SHP file, the SHX file, and the DBF file. Most softwares will also include a PRJ file with that. Or it could be up to 16 different files. And collectively, these are a shapefile. And so these different files tell softwares where things should be shown and what these different features, like this different point, will have information attached to it, like when was the well made, or when was the last time it was worked on, how deep is the well. All these different informations are attached to various points, so we have different ideas. So if you ever want to share a shapefile with someone, you should select all of the files that share that name because they are necessary for the software to read it, and then send it in a compressed zip folder, and this is how you would deliver it.